Hey Busy Fit fam, this is Stephen Anderson and I am your Busy Fit coach. Welcome to week 14, day 1 of your Busy Fit 2.0 Healthy Habits Coaching, and I am so glad that you're here. Your habits have gravity. Have you ever noticed that your habits tend to pull you in a certain direction pretty easily? And once you have a habit of doing something, then your natural inclination is to do it with as little deliberate thinking as possible. I haven't been there, but I can pretty much guarantee that when you put your pants on in the morning, that you use the same leg first every single time. And then you may have even had an experience where you were driving home from church or from work, and you got to your destination and you realize you don't even really remember the drive. Well, that's because your habits took over. Your habits have gravity. There's power in that gravity. Now, the good news is that if you have habits that are pulling you in a direction that you don't really want to be, then you can still change that gravity. The challenging part of it is understanding that it takes consistency and it takes time. And it is to our best interest to really not get bogged down in making big changes, but to make these small changes that are going to lead us to have that consistency and time that we need to get the results that we want. That's why you have to keep plugging away at your Busy Fit habits. You have to keep in mind that you can't live tomorrow and you can't live yesterday. You can only live today. So keep your mind focused on those habits. Keep yourself centered and remember that there's always a way to keep moving forward. Now today we will be talking a little bit about the reintroduction and some of the things that you can expect. So there are two different questions that we'll answer today, and these both have to do with food and the effects of food or the lack of effect of food once you get into the reintroduction. So the first question is, once I've gotten into the reintroduction, I realize that when I eat blank food that I get blank side effect. And here's the question: should I avoid this food? Well, the answer to that is that's up to you. You have to consider the side effect or the effect that you're feeling and your desire for the food, and then start making a determination as to whether the side effects are going to be worth it or not. You will be the answer to that. You'll be the judge of that. The main point is that once you are aware of these side effects or aware of how the food is affecting your body, then you can start making informed decisions as to whether you are willing to put up with that side effect. Now, the second question is, when I eat blank food, I feel no side effects, or I felt no side effects. So does that mean that I'm in the clear? Well, not necessarily. So what you have to consider is how much of it did you eat? Because for some of the things that you eat, if you eat only a tiny amount, you may not feel a side effect. Your body may just absorb it and take care of it. But when you get into heavier amounts, then you may feel the side effect. So that's one. And the other thing is, sometimes the effect doesn't show up right away, and it may be a day or two later before you really feel the effects. So those are things that you have to consider. The main important thing is for you to just be in tune with your body, understand what right feels like in terms of your body feeling really good after the reset. Then from that point on, you can then make those decisions as to whether the foods that you are eating have an effect and whether they're going to be worth it for you. Now we're on to our calls to action. Of course, we're reading our Busy Fit Mindset statements every single day. We're making sure we get our water in first thing in the morning. We're making sure that we get our activity in or rest if that's what our program calls for. And we are locked in on eating slowly to 80%, at least having that awareness to continue to try to do that. And each one of your meals, you're thinking about those components, right? What are they? You know them: protein, carbohydrates, healthy fats. Avoid all of those non-processed food or those extra processed foods as much as possible if you want to maintain your best state of health. Last thing, of course, is repetition. Make sure that we're establishing that new habit, right? We're changing that gravity by having repetition to be on our side with repeating our Busy Fit habits and our prep up for the setup, which you know is coming up because you're tracking it on your calendar. Tomorrow we will go into a little bit more specifics in terms of what you can be looking for when you're going through your reintroduction. And there is a very interesting video today about breaking habits, a really unique way to look at how to break a bad habit. So remember to persist. I will persist until I succeed. Never give up, and I'll see you on tomorrow.